Hey, folks, it is my great pleasure to bring you all a very, very special treat on this New Year's Eve. The one, the only Massad Ayoob is joining me. I'm super, super excited because number one, Mass, I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you and Gail. And number two, I don't always get to do these interviews with you because we rarely can coordinate schedules, and you usually are really good at just recording your own video and sending it to me. So it's nice to actually be on a meeting with you at the same time.
I
So
know I'm in
thanks for
good
doing
hands.
this. Oh, well. Yes, Gail is a very, very, very reliable person.
Your, yours and yours.
Thank you, Mass. I appreciate it. So, you are reprising one of your really popular classes at TACCon this year, and it's called Unconventional Wisdom. But we're going to talk about that. And I know you've got some updates just in case there's anybody left on the planet who's not heard of Massad Ayoob. Please give us an introduction to yourself, sir.
Sure. For our purposes here and my topic this year, I've been an expert witness for the court since 1979, weapons cases and use of force cases, primarily self-defense shootings. The title Unconventional Wisdom is used because it's more palatable to the bar associations where I give the same lecture than the real title, which is How to Not Screw Up a Perfectly Good Self-Defense Case by Using Your Typical Guilt Mitigation Strategies that you use for your typical guilty clients. Many of us, if we find 90 some percent of our work is with a certain type of person or a certain type of situation, that tends to become our default and what we fall back on when we get a different type of situation. There's a whole lot of defense lawyers out there who have never actually defended a genuine self-defense case.
Mhm.
The great majority, well into the 90th percentile, probably high 90th percentile, of people who are arrested for improper use of force, the system works. They were guilty. They were good for it. I've talked to attorneys who, after 20, 30 years of defense practice, said they had never defended a man they thought was truly innocent, just overcharged. And the overcharging occurs obviously because plea bargaining is the lubrication that keeps the courts moving. And boy, I hope you can edit this. I just my train of thought just derailed.
No, you're totally good.
But they solved the great majority of their cases well into the 90th percentile with plea bargains. That, of course, is unacceptable for the innocent, wrongfully accused person. Second, we need to look at it overall. The general advice that's given, for example, after a shooting, say nothing to the police. That will work well for the guilty client. What could he say that wouldn't inculpate him or, be a lie and subject him to a perjury charge and ultimately subject his attorney to a charge of subornation of perjury? Here, we really need to have a brief statement, and the emphasis there is brief statement, not answering every question, not going into detail, but establishing that you were the intended victim, pointing out any evidence, because as you know, when someone's been shot, the scene becomes chaotic. It's being trampled by EMS, firefighters, and police. Spent casing can get kicked into the wrong position or is sometimes lost entirely. If it happens on an inner city street, a dropped weapon can be picked up and runs away with the person who picked it up. Witnesses don't want to get involved, and if you haven't pointed them out, they may never be found to testify on your behalf. So I recommend, as do most of the people who do a lot of self-defense cases, a brief statement. And in class, we'll go into that in great detail. Many of the strategies used to defend the guilty client are 180 degrees off what the innocent client needs.
Mhm.
For example, the attorney who says, I never put my clients on the stand. How well did that work for Derek Chauvin, who, in the George Floyd case, had he taken the stand, might have been able to testify, this is exactly what I was taught to do with combative suspects. I've done it before and seen it done before many times, and no one was harmed. But no testimony like that ever got to the jury. He wound up being convicted of murder and stabbed 20 some times in custody. So we recommend that in a self-defense case, the defendant, if at all possible, take the stand. It's no longer a whodunit. It's a why did he or she do it? And the person who did it is the only one who can really fully answer that question. We'll go a lot in the lecture into burden of proof elements. Most people think, well, it only comes up once. The judge is going to give an instruction to the jury that the burden of proof is on the prosecution to show beyond doubt that it wasn't self-defense. And in fact, if you look at the whole thing from the shooting scene to the aftermath to the jury room, there are a whole lot more subtle burden of proof elements that need to be addressed.
Mhm.
So in an hour and 45 minutes, we'll try to do that, updated with some more recent cases for those who've caught my lecture before. And whether or not you folks watching this take mine, welcome to TACCON. If this is your first time, it's a Whitman sampler of the best training there is. And don't be surprised if you see me sitting next to you, standing next to you on the firing line in a few other classes. Hope to see you there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mass. And I always enjoy seeing people's reactions when they're in class and suddenly Massad Ayoob is standing next to them. And it's just, it's one of those amazing experiences that you can only get at TACCON and just a handful of other places. So we really appreciate you gracing us with your presence and your expertise and your companionship and that booming Massad Ayoob voice, which a lot of people always look forward to. Don't
Th-
miss unconventional wisdom, folks.
Thank you, Tiff, for all you and Tom and the team have done.
Oh, you're so welcome. Couldn't have done it without you and all the other folks that come to TACCON. We appreciate it. Folks, I will see you in Dallas and Mass, you and Gail, I'll see you guys and give you a great big hug.
See you there.